I want to switch a little gears here and say, I want to talk about threesomes and deep monogamous love.
Yeah.
And say, I'm imagining a lot of men listening to this are either single or in classical monogamous relationships or dating someone, and that threesomes have eluded, let's say, most of them, or just hasn't been a part of their sphere, but probably has been part of their fantasy life.
Yeah.
And I'm curious your take on how if that fantasy lives up to the reality, and if this deep monogamy that they're in, if there's more potential in it than what's going on.
What do you mean by that last thing? If there's more potential in a deep?
Meaning, if they're in a regular kind of relationship where they're just in their routine, you know, they're having sex once and twice a week, and they're like, okay, this is like my thing, I do it, I love my sweetie, and everything's fine, you know, and they might be fantasizing about this threesome. I know you've had a lot of experience, and I'm curious your take on, is this worth kind of really going for? Is this as good as it looks, as it's been hyped up to be?
Yeah.
And is there more potential in that type of relating?
Yeah.
That's a great question.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's a great question. And yes.
Great.
Next question. Yes to, yeah, check that off the list. Yes to all of those questions. So many yeses. First, I want to say, like, the desire for a threesome and that fantasy is totally normal. There's nothing wrong with you if you're having that. It's like perfectly normal. And there have been studies that have shown that that is one of the most common sexual fantasies of all genders. You know, it's very common to want to have a group sexual scenario. So nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. And they can be amazing. I've had probably 25, you could say, threesome type experiences. The vast majority of them have sucked ass, and not in a good way. The vast majority of them have been horrible, you know, horrible. And they also, like, they were horrible in large part because of where I was in a particular polyamorous relationship when I was trying to have them. And it just didn't work out. Fast forward, you know, I have had some incredible threesome experiences, and my personal experience is that, yes, the incredible ones totally live up to the hype and, like, blow the hype out of the water, but they're so fucking rare, and they take such either, like, divine timing or a combination of intention and conversation that it's like, it might be like finding a needle in a haystack. I don't know, you know, like, in my life right now, I am in a committed monogamous relationship with my girlfriend, and it's beautiful. And both of us, you know, we have been polyamorous before in the past, but now we're really diving deep into this container, this sacred container of our relationship, and it's beautiful. And we're also choosing to explore threesomes and explore those types of experiences together. And what we found so far is that if done with good communication and love between each other and in great intention and selectivity for a partner, then they can bring us, like, those experiences have brought us much closer together and added so much more to our relationship. And, you know, they've been beautiful in the moment too, for all three people. And this is something we want to explore a lot more of. We haven't done a ton, but this is definitely an area of intrigue for me. And I will say, one of the concerns a lot of people have about threesomes is that, oh, if I do this, is my partner just going to want more people and more people and more people? Not necessarily. And there's research out there that shows this to be true, that if couples go into a threesome scenario with great communication and intention, and they feel good in their relationship, and they have a successful threesome, then that's just going to add so much more closeness and connection and depth to their relationship, you know, versus if you explore, say, some other type of fantasy that's just like spanking or something like that, you know, because it doesn't require as much communication and as much intentionality.
I'm going to ask you the question of, how do you get that conversation started with your partner? Yeah, because I'm imagining a lot of men are listening going, that'd be kind of cool. Maybe I want to do that, but oh, my partner would never go for it. Or like, we've been married for like 10 years or whatnot.
Yeah.
Give them a little taste of, like, here's how you can get this started.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Or how did you get it started? Yeah.
Yeah, gosh, you know, it's such a big topic. and there's so many potential bombs like in this arena to go into. So I just want to acknowledge that. If you're afraid to talk about this, that's fucking normal too. In past relationships, I always wanted to explore this, and I brought it up in less useful ways, and they always ended up in like explosive, not good interactions, you know, and I never had the experiences that I wanted to have. And so I think primarily, if you want to have a threesome with your partner, like they need to want to have that threesome too. And if they don't, and you keep pushing it, like that's not a good strategy, right? But you're not going to know if they want to have a threesome or not until you communicate about it. And so like similar format to what we talked about earlier. Hey baby, or whatever you call your significant other. There's this thing that I've been fantasizing about, and I've been curious about exploring with you, and I wonder if you'd be open to having a conversation about it. You know, so that's the first step. And then say something like, I've been really curious about having a potential threesome with you and somebody else, and here are the reasons why. And if you're going to do that, try to include some reasons that are not like, I think it'd be hot. Not just that. Like, of course it would be hot if everything goes according to your ideal fantasy. But also, I think it'd be a great bonding experience for us. I think it could bring us closer together. I think it could give us an amazing experience that we could never experience with just the two of us. And it's not about you not being enough. It's about, have you ever had 4 hands touching your body in a sensual way at the same time? Like, how fucking magnificent is that? You know, like, I can't do that for you. I bet that'd be nice to experience. You know, it'd be nice for me to experience. And so coming up with a variety of reasons that you want to try it with your partner.
Good suggestion. I hope some men are going to try that. That'd be interesting to hear, to get some comments later. All right, you tried that and like it was so hard, or I tried that and it worked, or what.
And it might be fucking hard, and it might train wreck. And you know, this is like the risk that you take.
Right, that area. You're like, hey, that's kind of a risk area for people to go in, because it's going to could bring up insecurities on the part of both people. Hey, maybe you don't love me. Yeah. Oh, you want to be with someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, and I will say that one thing a lot of men fantasize about is having a threesome with 2 women. And what you don't realize before that experience is that what happens if they start interacting and they're more interested in each other than you? Like, this is a very real possibility, and that's scary in the moment. And then still all your shit can get activated. You know, you can think like, oh no, what do I do now? Am I good enough for them? Am I like, do they not want me? Should I even be here? And you could spiral in that too. So like, the fantasy is totally different from the reality of the experience.
As is life often, right?
Yeah.
Because this isn't just a podcast about threesomes, let's switch gears a little bit. Right, yeah. I'm going to bring up another taboo subject, which is anal sex for men. So this is a big deal with my clients. At some point, if we start talking about sexuality, I'll usually bring up and say, hey, have you ever explored your asshole?